show Backspin on Sirius XM. Raekwon the chef, my in-studio guest, like I've been telling all of y'all on Twitter.
Yeah.
What up, Ray?
What up, Lord?
All right, everything is good. What's good, baby?
Legendary. What up, baby?
Legendary, my ass. You the legendary. 20 years on the 20 years on the purple tape.
Nah, salute,
sir. 20 years on the purple tape.
Shit.
August will make 20 years.
Shit.
So I hit up all the fans and the fan base on Twitter and said, "Do y'all have questions for Raekwon?" And to send me the questions. I think one of the first questions that I saw that somebody hit me up here, Mr. Exclusive at Mr. Exclusive 215 said, "What made him want to make the tape purple? Why is the purple tape purple?"
You know, I made it purple because it's like I wanted it to be away from everybody else's. You know, back in the, back on the block. You know, that was our way of separating ourselves from other people's or whatever. You know, so I kind of kept that same logic to it and said, yo, if this is my product in the street, I got to make sure it's different from everybody else's. So I went in, at first, the color I wanted to get was green. But they didn't make green.
Okay.
So the next thing you know,
so like having green tops.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know, blue tops, whatever, you know what I mean? Just something from the street that we always knew was a way of separating. But when they didn't have the green color that I wanted, because my favorite color is money green. Right. So I wanted green, but they was like, yo, we only got yellow, purple, and red. I already knew Redman had a red tape out back in the day.
The Red album.
The Red album, he had a red tape. So I was like, can't do red, can't do that color. And purple was just looking at me. So I'm like, yo, everybody might think I'm a little funny guy with the purple or whatever. So I'm like, this is me thinking to myself, and I'm like, nah, purple. And then I just looked up what purple meant. It's royalty. It was perfect. So I'm like, yo, I'll take it. Right. And next thing you know, that's how I was born.
Wow, the purple tape. So it could have been the yellow tape.
Exactly.
Could have been.
Real talk.
Could have been yellow tape, because cats be like, yo, I got yellow tops. You know, when you're in the hood and everybody's out there hustling, doing their thing, everybody wants to separate their product from everybody else's product. Exactly. So that was the knowledge behind the purple tape.
Absolutely.
Now, let's take it all the way back, Ray, to the beginning of the Wu-Tang Clan. When did you hear about it? How did you hear about it? And when did they come and get you?
Back in the day, it was more like for fun. Everything was for fun. Everything, just having fun, rhyming in the staircase and, smoking blunts. And, it was just a fad thing because we was inspired by the culture. And RZA, he always was a dude that stayed into music, whether he was DJing or making a beat. Like, he goes back as far as I can remember me being like a youngin' for real. And a lot of people don't know that I kind of like hung with RZA before he actually got on, and before this whole Wu-Tang thing came together. It was like, to me at that time, RZA was a person that would take me off the block and let me just hang out with him for the day and see what he about with his music thing. So even though I liked it, I wasn't into it as much as he was. So when he finally got a situation and got a deal, he came back to the neighborhood, and we was proud for him. We was happy for him. Wow, yo. When you see an album cover come back to the hood, because we don't know what about album covers and put your face on it. Right. So, he came back, and we felt like that was an accomplishment, and that's when the energy of us started having a little bit more hope, because we like, yo, somebody from the neighborhood got on. It was him and the GZA. The GZA was signed to Tommy Boy Records, and RZA was signed to, he was signed to Tommy Boy, too. Was it Tommy Boy?
I think the RZA was on Tommy Boy at a Prince Rakim, right?
Yeah.
And the GZA was on Cold Chillin'.
Cold Chillin',
yeah, because that's why he gave Cold Chillin' the business.
Exactly.
On the internet. The Wu's too begging for these Cold Chillin' labels.
Exactly.
Yeah, sir.
He was throwing his daggers then. But coming back to the neighborhood and seeing these guys that we knew made records, we like, wow, like, and they got deals. So I even went to some of the videos and played being a painter and all of that in the video. But I was just happy for them. And then I guess when they went out there and did their thing, they kind of felt like they was being misinterpreted on what they represent. Right. So I guess Riz got frustrated and came back. He realized he had his 5 minutes of fame. It didn't work. He came back to the hood. He was like, yo, I got a plan. I want to do something. And he had a relationship with certain guys in the neighborhood that was from certain neighborhoods. Like Ghost is from Stapleton. I'm from Park Hill. So it was like RZA was known in all these different projects from him being a music guy, and he knew certain dudes that was doing their thing. So he made a call one day. This is out the blue, y'all. This is real rap, I'm telling y'all. Called dudes one day, yo, boom, 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 y'all want to get in the studio. I want to make a record. We like, yo, we anything to get off this hot ass block. Let's, what time? You know what I mean? And next thing you know, it was like he called specific dudes, like, you know, like, yo, I want him, you, blah. Next thing you know, everybody come in the studio. So remind you, it wasn't even really great energy in the room. It was just, we here for him. Right. So it's like being one of the X-Men, and next thing you know, Professor X called you, and you know, you like, yo, I don't even rock with him over there like that. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't
because I was about to ask you, Ghost being from Stapleton, you from Park Hill. Yeah, that was beef between Stapleton Projects and Park Hill.
You know that, and that's traditional. That's like the you know, that always been something that we grew up amongst. Exactly. That's the best way to describe it. But you know, we were just living through them times, but we never really had like an issue. But you know, like I said, make a long story short, we all in the room, and you know, RZA talking about his game plan, and you know, we just want to represent Staten Island because that's all we want to do anyway. Because we felt like every other borough was shitting on us. Like, we come to the club, you don't hear Staten Island.
Nah, not at all.
That shit tore us apart.
Really?
That tore us apart. So when it came down to really wanting to make a record, it was more about representing Staten Island, and we was the men that was going to stand for that rep at that time. And you know, the whole Wu-Tang thing, I knew RZA was deep into it. You know, now remind you, I'm from the outside looking in at, okay, I see what you're doing now, even though I know you like damn near all my life. But you know, like I said, he was like, yo, we gonna make a record, and if it goes somewhere, it's gonna go somewhere. You know, this might help us get out the hood. Anything to get out the hood and escape that life, we was down for, all of us. And we just said, yo, you know what? We trust your hand because you already made a record.
Got a deal.
You know what I mean? It ain't matter if you sold anything. It was just the fact you was able to do it. So we trusted his hand on everything he wanted to do. He was a pure brother. You know, he was about knowledge and, you know, helping, and all of that played a role in us giving him the opportunity to run the bus. Right. So next thing you know, we did the record. Boom. You know what I mean? Dudes is throwing their shit out or whatever. You know me, I had the right mind on the spot. I wasn't even prepared. I'm just, you know, coming in just to be like, whatever. Threw mine down. But once I heard Dex set it off with I Smoke on the mic, that's when everybody started.
That was the first thing. That's the first thing y'all did.
Yeah, that was the first.
Protect Your Neck was the first.
Protect Your Neck.
Please get Protect Your Neck up and ready to go. This the first record y'all did collectively as the Wu-Tang Clan.
No lie.
Everybody in there don't know each other.
Yeah.
Looking at each other sideways, and this is what y'all came with?
Absolutely.
That's fucking unbelievable, man.
But, you know, it kind of explains how everybody went hard on that record.
Yes, like, now you understand the energy.
He set it off, he's like, hold up. Yeah. Let me get my shit together.
And then the crazy shit is like, I don't even think that the beat was fully done all the way because, you know, he probably just had something or like a little
template or something.
Yeah, you know, and then like I said, the next time I heard it, it was lit, you know. So shit was like word, you know what I mean? And I think just that coming off first, kind of like held the momentum of the record because once it came on, it was like everybody felt like, yeah, this is where we want to be at, you know. Because then on the other side of things, you know, we was big fans of Naughty by Nature, EPMD, they whole movement because they was the real New York before we was the real New York at that time. Right. If you go back and
Naughty represent Jersey like a motherfucker.
They was holding shit down up here, whatever. So, you know, we wanted to emulate that. You know, we had, you know, for your Red Man, we got a Method Man. For your Parrish Smith and Eric Sermon, we got Ray and Ghost. And you know, that's how we would compare ourselves to the great ones because they was winning, you know what I mean? You had Das Effects and, you know, and like I said, we just formed our academy and just went from there.
Talking about the early days of the Wu-Tang Clan, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. When did you first hear Wu-Tang?
You know, RZA already had a movement with that. You know, he was in Stapleton Projects. He was hanging with Ghostface and a couple of them brothers down there while we was up in the hood doing whatever we was doing. And it just was weird because I know that whatever they started, I felt like that was their academy at that time. And we was just dudes from the outside in looking in at first. But it wound up being more Wu-Tang members from the Hill, more members from the Hill on the album. I mean, as far as the group is concerned. So
name everybody that's in the Wu-Tang that's from Park Hill.
Yeah, you know, of course, Inspector Deck, Method Man, myself. You know, RZA was more like a, you know, he lived from hood to hood. You know, U-Guard, Capadonna, you know, everybody was there except Ghost and Dirty.
Okay, and Dirty's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, Dirty was from Brooklyn. And Jizza and Old Dirty Bastard, rest in peace, he was, you know, RZA's cousins. Right. So they pretty much already had their own thing going on. So when we kind of like officially this is the group, you know, it kind of like left a stain in the hood far as with certain projects far as Stapleton. They like, yo, we was co-signing that more than they was. Right. But I guess in RZA's eyes, he just wanted to build the right team that he felt, yo, if this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to be. And the record wound up being so ill that automatically we was like, you know what, let's start working on some more records too. So now, you know, everybody is picking records out and stashing and tucking. So, you know, but this is still, but we still doing the first album though, Ed. So that's what I'm saying. You know, when y'all heard Cream, that beat was already existed. It's just that nobody touched it yet, and I already had it. So it was a lot of music that was being made amongst making the first album. Okay. This is when RZA was just on fire, never come outside, hair all crazy, scuffed up Timbs. He don't even want to go outside. He just loving his ASR and a couple of things that he had. But, you know, like I said, overall, man, you know, I got down with it. They said, yo, you down now. Right. But, you know, it kind of like left a little stain in the hood, though. Oh, wow. And y'all got, on that first album, man, there's some classic skits I've always wanted to ask you about. Word. Where my killer tape at, yo? Where my killer tape? How did y'all, when did that come? Was that something that was, he was just recording, y'all was talking about some shit? Yeah, sometimes he left it on like that, though. He left the thing on, and you know, that's the organicness of what we wanted to do at that time. We wanted y'all to feel our personalities out and see how we would act on a normal level, so he would just keep it on. And, you know, we would make funny skits, because dudes was funny dudes, man. Yeah. And at that time... Is he dead? The Killer movie, the movie The Killer was out right then, you know, on the DVD or whatever. And yo, we watched that shit every day, like, making records. So it was like, because, you know, when you go to RZA house, you're automatically going to eat noodles, you're going to watch 100 karate flicks, and you're going to see some gangster karate movies, you know what I mean? Man. So all that was inspiration, the Claudine, Sonny Carson's and all, because this is what we in the house listening to while we making the music. So we wanted to initiate all of that, give y'all every piece of everything that was real, and just give it to you all in one record. I mean, you know, me and Ghost, of course, we super close, but Ghost, it's like, it goes back to, like I said, like, we know each other, but we never really ran with each other. So even when we make the music, it's like playing ball next to a nigga that you nice with, and it's like, yo, y'all play good together, but when y'all go home, he going over there, I'm going over here. Right. So and people expect to see y'all together. Yeah, you know, that it was always that in people's eyes, because the music was so connected. But we both had different lives, you know what I mean? Right. He ran with certain different cats, I ran with certain different cats. But more importantly, the love, the energy was there, but it got built up through the music. Right. So, you know, I love y'all together too, man. Regardless of what, I mean, you know. Every time I listen to either one of y'all albums, I'm just like everybody else. I expect at least a joint. I love the Wesley Snipes movement on a Sunday in Bermuda. We laptop niggas, thugs in the computer. That's my shit right there, man. Flowers, that's my shit. You better pay Big Mama for using his lyric. That shit is so fucking hard, and my mouth stayed dry because I swallowed the struggle. I might connect you to a VCR after they bug you. I ain't a player and I hate thugs too. I'm just a nigga with a killer like I hate thugs too. That shit is the shit. Every time I hear that shit, y'all bounce off of each other so well, man. Yeah, nah, I mean, you know, it's brotherhood, man. You know, on wax, and like I said, we had more similar styles. Like me and Ghost, We went to school together. We, you know, I was in the snapping classes, and we was with the snapping masters. You know what I mean? So we could reminisce off them days, and that made us more closer because it's like, yo, we was all in the same classroom. Never disrespected each other. Never, nobody ever went in nobody's pocket or try to play him. So it made it more better to bond.
Right.
You know, but as we went on in the game, it was like we had to both, you know, we'd be arguing, me and Ghost would feel one way and the whole clan would feel another way. So it was just, we had a certain kind of energy together.
Definitely, man.
I wish I could have been on more of his records, though. But you know how it be. He over there handling, I'm over here handling.
Right.
But when but you know, you got to look at it like this. You get Ray and Ghost together all the time, then it ain't going to be fun.
That's right.
Yeah. You know,
or special.
So
or special.
If you get something from him, Dolo, and you get something from me, Dolo, and you get something together, then you get 3. You get 3 slices for $5.
Now, everyone that has the purple tape, everybody got a different favorite record. It's your children. What's your favorite joint on the purple tape?
That's hard, Ed, because everybody asks me that. You know, my thing is anytime I made an album, it was always paying attention to the body of work. You know, I always wanted to make one record big like the next record. You know, so if this record was dope, in my eyes, we had to make another one because we already had one. You see what I'm saying? So for each record, I'm just trying to outdo them all.
Right.
To make them all be like, all of them is official.
Right.
And that's me concentrating on the body of work. But I like more the storytelling joints because, you know, I grew up listening to stories. Slick Rick, Raekwon, throwing down heavy with the rhyme playing. You know, I like Rainy Days, you know.
Right.
You know, Knowledge God. You know, I like North Star when Papa Wu was, you know, just giving me that rap.
Right.
Heaven and Hell, Different Chambers. Doom, 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 doom. You know, Guillotines, you know, that beat was a skit on Method Man's album, To Cal, because his album came before Cuban Linx.
Right.
So that little skit part, I love the beat so much, I'm like, yo, RZA, I want to make a beat out of that skit.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was just some organic shit that I was doing, but I wanted to make sure every record was explosive.
And you did. My man Raekwon, the chef, stopped by, man, hung out with me today. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Nah, you know,
because you're giving us so much history, man, on stuff that we didn't know about, just about the production and the way you approach making music. Right. And I think if more people approach making music the way you approach making music, we'd have better albums. Because you were looking at the body of work. You wasn't like resting on a single like, yo, when the Incarcerated Scarfaces come out, I'm going to kill them and I don't have to have anything else.
Nah, I wasn't raised from that kind of, you know, team of men that taught us how to rhyme.
Right.
You know, the brothers that did it before us was the blueprint. And you know, if you notice, they never had no pattern. They, you know, it wasn't always about a hook. You know, it wasn't always about, you know, worrying about if it's going to be on the air.
Yeah.
You know, it was just all about a banging album.
Right,
so you know, for us, it was important. We wouldn't put it out unless it was banging.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't never settling and just trying to rely on a record or two. And I still carry them traits hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I got another question from Jonathan Rodriguez in Brazil. He says, ask Raekwon about the effect of Only Built for Cuban Linx in the culture. Did he think that the album would be one of the greatest rap albums when he made it?
Yeah, yo, shout out Brazil too, Sao Paulo, with all my peoples out there. Yeah, you know, I felt like that in my heart. My confidence was in the right spot, but I felt like I was around masters. See, when you're around masters, you only could get better according to being around them type of dudes. And I feel like we had the most history of knowing what was the shit. So if I'm sitting next to dudes that any question or anything I ever wanted to know, and these the smartest niggas, I know I'm gonna make a classic. So my confidence was where it needed to be.
Right.
You know, and yeah, when we made that album, back then I was willing to not do videos to make a movie out of it. But they was already telling me like, yo, you think it's too big. I'm like, listen, I know what I'm talking about. They was like, nah, you a little bit too open, bro. You got a record deal. Just be happy with you're gonna get a shot.
Right.
I'm like, but yo, y'all fucking up. Y'all don't know this the shit. You know what I mean? And I was just saying it from a hip hop perspective.
Right.
And they didn't believe me.
It seemed like during that time y'all bonded with Nas and Mobb Deep more than you didn't. It didn't seem like y'all bonded with Big.
Nah, I think that's probably a little bit kind of crazy because it's like you got to remember when Big did the record with Method Man, it was like we all had say so with that because we was on some. It's just us,
right?
You know what I mean? If it's Wu-Tang, boom team. It's like anything we do, we all gotta be like thumbs up. Go ahead. So we was already rocking with them. I mean, like Puff had something to do with putting the Jodeci record together.
Right.
Mary working with RZA and Meth on the album and making the Grammy. So
right.
It was just a lot of misconstruedness going on, but it was the best MCs all loving each other, but still looking at each other like, you a Queens nigga, you a Brooklyn nigga. You know what I mean? You always know how it go. No matter, it's just that's how we is in New York. Like if you a Queens nigga, you a Queens nigga.
Right.
And it didn't take nothing away from the respect, but when Ghost had said something about, Big using the
last album.
Yeah, it was
they're
more
putting a baby picture on the album.
Yeah,
cover.
and see the whole thing. It was more about you a king yourself. Why do what he done?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't more like we just trying to air Big out because Big is one of the greatest in my eyes. He's considered the greatest. You know what I mean?
Right.
In my eye, but overall, it was just real facts that we was trying to present, but it was the way it was being said.
Right.
So the way it was being said, people took it like he was busting shots at him. And then back then Ghost was like still fresh out the hood, doing whatever he wanted to do. Say I can't stop him on saying what he wanted to say. But the greatest thing that came out of all of that was that we were able to see Big and talk to him and be like, nah, it's too much love here, man. We love you to death, bro. And he felt good about
because he was a huge Wu-Tang fan.
He loved us, you know what I mean?
He loved Wu-Tang.
Yeah, and it hurt him to think that we didn't fuck with him like that.
Right.
And I had to tell him too when I seen him like, come on, is you crazy? Like, it's just us. It's you know what I mean? It's you Nas, Mob, us. We run this state right here. So it wasn't never like personal, but when you got two greats with great heaters and you got a bunch of Brooklyn niggas, a bunch of Staten Island niggas. They the ones that's really, making it a sticky situation. But it was always love for them, man. Always, man.
How did you get the call to do the song with Outkast? It's one of my favorite guest verses you did.
That was crazy because we was in, I was living in Atlanta back then. This was back in 98. I was living out there, and I bumped into him in the mall. And
that's crazy.
Buying hats and shit, seeing them recognize, yo, what up, boom, you need to do something. This is when you ain't hear the South up in the town.
Right.
You ain't hear them up here. You know, so for me, it was like, I'm a universal builder. I build with everybody. Once the love is there, it's on and popping. And we built a relationship like that. And then it went to, let's make a record. And next thing you know, the record was made. I did the record out there in A-Town.
Wow.
But we had fun, though,
Yeah, who started dying the Wallabies, man?
Oh, your man Tony Starks, your man Ghostface Killers, we grew up on that watching West Indians wear them, and, it was a comfortable, respectful shoe, you know what I mean, that the OGs wore. They didn't wear Clarks, they wore Bally's, that's when you had money. Fila suits, velour suits, all of that. That's why I said Queens niggas, y'all was like kind of like pretty boy niggas because y'all always was super fly.
Yeah.
Yellow Bally's and shit like that, and Kangos, terry cloth, and velour, good
Sergio Tacchini suits and shit like that.
So we just emulated all of that because we loved it though. But that's how we felt like when we started making money. That's the look we wanted.
Right.
So I was wearing silks early, like. That just showed
strength. When you was on your Lex Diamond shit?
Exactly. The names, I came up with the names, though, the AKAs, and, I'm like, yo, his name is Louis Diamonds, you know what I mean? Louis, like, Louis Lex,
Lex Diamonds, Louis Diamonds, Tony Stark, Louis Rich.
The game just, everybody started loving that whole, that whole thing that we was doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely, man. And another question from True Steel, the problem at True_Steel. He said, Raekwon, why wasn't Cuban Linx 2 pushed as aggressively as any of your other projects?
Yeah, good question.
And he said Cuban Linx 2 is a classic, by the way.
Oh, good looking, my brother. Thank you. You know what it was? It was just that when I was doing when we did the first album, I was on a major. When I, You know, I'm not on a major right now. I'm doing my own thing. I got my own distribution, and everything was coming through that circuit now. So now, it's like still the brand is big, but the people that I'm dealing with, they couldn't offer me that kind of money to do it because that's not what they do. Right. You know, their thing was more make a couple of dollars with you, and plus they didn't believe in it. I'm telling them anyway. This is a classic. We need 100,000 pieces out there, but they didn't see that far. You see what I'm saying? So I had to deal with the fact of being independent and having to do it the way that they felt comfortable. But I did try to tell them the same way that I said when we made the album, the Cuban Linx, the first one, and I said I need a movie. I had a vision. So next thing you know, it was like I had another vision, but they couldn't understand it. But we made some bread together though.
There you go, man. My man Raekwon and Chef in the building with us, man. And one last question from Eddie Mack. Will Fila be available on vinyl?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Definitely. You know what I mean? Shout out all my cats out there that love vinyl and buy that. Yo, you will definitely have that. And like I said, this album is coming out April 28th, right around the corner. I promise y'all, man. You know, if this was your last meal on the table, you gonna be full. You know, I think it's important for us to get an album from another perspective, a MC that's, you know, that got that clout, and I just went out there and worked hard on it. It's coming out April 28th.
April 28th, and Ray will be back before April 28th. He got to run and do some other stuff up here at Sirius XM, or I'd keep him until the end of the night, and they at the door looking at me right now. My man Scratch is going to be on the turntables tonight for me, man, starting at 9 o'clock. It's the Ed Lover Show Backspace, Sirius XM.
1000.